Ready to fall for France's most charming harbor town? In just 2 days, we'll wander pastel lanes, sip cider by the Vieux Bassin, explore Monet's favorite gardens, and climb to epic views over the Seine. From half-timbered cafes to hidden chapels, Honfleur is bursting with surprises at every turn. This is your perfect Normandy weekend, packed with beauty, flavor, and soul. Let's get started. Best time to visit Honfleur. May to September is perfect for sunny strolls and harbor views, with highs around 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius, and long daylight hours to explore the town on foot. April and October offer fewer crowds and better prices, but some spots, like the Carousel, may be closed or operate on limited hours. Winter is quiet but chilly, averaging 41 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 degrees Celsius, and many local businesses reduce their schedules or shut down completely. For the best mix of weather, light and calm, try early June or mid-September. Airport tips. The closest airport to Honfleur is Deauville, Normandy, just 15 minutes away, though it only offers a handful of seasonal flights. For most international travelers, Paris Charles de Gaulle is the main entry point. From there, it's about a 2.5-hour drive or a 3-hour bus ride to Honfleur. Private transfers start around 430 USD, while long-distance buses from central Paris can be booked in advance for as little as 10 USD. Where to stay in Honfleur? For a central, walkable stay, base yourself near the Vieux Bassin, the heart of Honfleur's charm, where every street feels lifted from a painting. Budget travelers will find cozy guest houses and no-frill hotels between 75 and 120 USD per night, often tucked into timbered buildings just steps from the harbor. Mid-range stays average 130 to 200 USD, blending boutique style with local character. For something more indulgent, look to spa hotels or manor-style retreats just outside the center, with nightly rates starting from 250 to 400 USD. Wherever you stay, you'll be right at the heart of Honfleur, close to the harbor, the history, and everything that makes this town unforgettable. How to get around Honfleur. Honfleur is compact and made for walking. No cars, no metros, no bike rentals needed. Most sites are tucked within a few scenic blocks, especially around the harbor. If you're arriving by rental car, park it once and forget it for the day. Public buses connect Honfleur to nearby towns like Deauville and Le Havre, but inside the city, nothing beats exploring on foot. Insider tip. Wear comfortable shoes. The cobblestones are charming, but they'll punish anything flimsy or flat. Day 1. Art, altars, and the soul of old Honfleur. Morning. Breakfast at Cafés et Gourmandise, Maison Blondel. Start your day in true Normandy fashion with a stop at Cafés et Gourmandise, Maison Blondel, a cozy little bakery tucked near Sainte-Catherine Square. Inside, the air is warm with the smell of butter and sugar, flaky croissants, golden madeleines, and slices of apple tart line the glass counter. Grab a café cream and something sweet to go, or take a moment to sit under the timber beams and ease into the rhythm of the town. Expect to spend around 10 to 15 USD per person, a light, satisfying start before the climb to Honfleur's most scenic lookout. Chapel of Our Lady of Grace. After breakfast, make your way to the Chapel of Our Lady of Grace, perched on a wooded hillside just beyond Honfleur. Built in the 17th century by sailors offering thanks for safe passage, the chapel still carries that spirit. Humble, weathered, and deeply rooted in Normandy's maritime soul. Inside, the wooden halls are painted with soft tones, votive offerings hang from the beams, and rows of hand-carved model ships tell stories of generations past. Step outside and you're met with one of the best views in the region, a sweeping panorama of the Seine estuary, the vast arc of the Normandy Bridge, and the clustered rooftops of Honfleur down below. Entrance is free, and the quiet setting makes it one of the town's most soul-stirring stops. Insider tip. Time your visit with the carrion bells. They chime every 30 minutes and echo beautifully through the trees and valleys. Late morning. Satie houses. Back in the center of Honfleur, step into the surreal imagination of composer Eric Satie at the Satie Houses, a one-of-a-kind sound and light museum that feels more like a theatrical dream than a traditional exhibit. Born in Honfleur in 1866, Satie was as eccentric as he was brilliant, and this experience brings his world to life through whimsical rooms filled with floating pianos, whispering halls, and abstract installations that blur the line between music and visual art. Each room guides you deeper into his mind, with narration, lighting, and music choreographed to unfold moment by moment. It's part biography, part performance, and completely unforgettable. Entry costs around $8 and most visitors spend around 45 minutes to an hour inside. Insider tip: the audio guide is your compass here. It syncs automatically with each room, so make sure to start it from the very first step to catch the full narrative flow. Eugène Boudin Museum. Just a few steps from the harbor, the Eugène Boudin Museum opens a window into Normandy's coastal soul, seen through the brushstrokes of one of Impressionism's quiet pioneers. Born in Honfleur, Boudin painted the skies, sails, and tidal light of the region long before Monet made it famous. His luminous seascapes, along with works by Courbet, Duffy, and other 19th century masters, fill the museum's light-drenched rooms with soft motion and salt air. The space itself feels like a retreat, modest, elegant, and perfectly scaled for lingering. A visit here is less about seeing dozens of paintings, and more about absorbing the atmosphere that inspired them. Entry is about $10 or included with the Honfleur Museum Pass. The pass costs around $20 and is available at local museums or the tourist office. A smart choice if you're planning to explore more than one site during your visit. Insider tip: don't miss the upstairs gallery. It's easy to miss, but it holds some of the museum's best pieces and a quiet harbor view framed by tall windows. Afternoon. Lunch at Chez Justine et Quentin. After a full morning exploring Honfleur's creative side, take a break at Chez Justine et Quentin, a cozy bistro just a short stroll from the museums. The atmosphere is warm and unfussy, with wooden tables, handwritten menus, and dishes that celebrate Normandy's fresh local flavors. Try their catch of the day with seasonal vegetables, or go for a creamy chicken dish with cider sauce. Both are house favorites. Expect to spend around $20 to $30 per person for a satisfying midday meal. Sainte-Catherine's Church. Walk off lunch with a visit to Sainte-Catherine's Church, the largest wooden church in France and one of Honfleur's most iconic landmarks. Built in the late 15th century by local shipbuilders after the Hundred Years' War, the structure reflects their craftsmanship in every beam. Inside, twin naves stretch beneath a ceiling shaped like an overturned ship's hull, supported by massive oak columns that were once full tree trunks. It's a space that feels both grand and intimate, echoing with centuries of prayer, woodwork, and quiet resilience. Just across the square, don't miss the detached bell tower. Separated from the main building to prevent fire damage, it now houses a small exhibition about the church's history and local religious heritage. Entry to the church is free. If you'd like access to the bell tower, admission is included with the Honfleur Museum Pass or costs about $8 on its own. Insider tip: visit mid-afternoon when the sunlight filters through the high windows. The wood glows amber and the space feels completely alive. Late afternoon, walk around the Vieux Bassin. Slow the pace with a stroll around the Vieux Bassin, Honfleur's postcard-perfect harbor, where time seems to move just a little slower. Framed by tall, slate-roofed houses that lean gently with age and colorful fishing boats bobbing in rhythm with the tide, this 17th century dock captures the town's soul in a single view, and it's no surprise it's the most photographed place in Honfleur. The reflections alone are worth the visit: rippling rooftops mirrored in the water, soft golden light on weathered stone, and the hush of tide meeting wood as it has for centuries. As you walk along the quays, you'll pass through galleries open to the street, creperies sending up the scent of butter and sugar, and the historic lieutenants, once the residence of the King's Lieutenant, now the last visible trace of the town's fortified walls. Benches line the waterfront if you want to pause. watch the boats, or simply take in the rhythm of the place. It's a perfect moment of calm before dinner, especially as golden hour wraps the harbor in soft light and long shadows. Insider tip. For a quieter, full-frame view of the harbor, walk up the slope near Rue des Loguettes. It's a lesser-known angle, ideal for photos and a peaceful pause away from the crowds. Evening, dinner at l'Ondua. Wrap up your day with dinner at l'Ondua, one of Honfleur's most stylish spots just a short walk from the harbor. With its open kitchen and warm industrial chic decor, this modern bistro blends local flavors with creative twists. Think seared scallops, creamy risottos, and perfectly cooked duck breast. The atmosphere is relaxed but polished, making it a fitting place to reflect on the day's discoveries. Expect to spend around 40 to 60 USD per person for a full meal with drinks. Insider tip. The menu changes often based on seasonal ingredients. Ask your server for the day's specials before ordering. Day 2. A day of greenery, views, and Norman flavor. Morning. Breakfast at Brasserie Les Quatre G. Day 2 in Honfleur begins with a quiet stop at Brasserie Les Quatre G, a no-frills local spot just outside the center. The setting is simple, the service efficient, and the menu offers just what you need to ease into the day. Warm croissants, buttery tartines, and strong French coffee served without fuss. It's not about the view here, but it's the perfect place to fuel up before heading toward the Normandy Bridge. Expect to spend around 8 to 12 USD for a classic French breakfast. Normandy Bridge. After a light start to the morning, make your way toward the eastern edge of Honfleur for a look at the Pont de Normandy, the soaring cable-stayed bridge that rises over the Seine estuary like a sculpture drawn in steel. Completed in 1995, it stretches more than a mile across the water and remains one of the longest bridges of its kind in Europe. Its graceful arc connects Honfleur to Le Havre, curving high above the ships and channels below. While the bridge is technically walkable via a narrow pedestrian path, it's not designed for leisurely strolling. Exposed to the wind and surrounded by fast-moving traffic, instead the best views are from the Harbor Road or the roundabout near the D580, where the entire span opens up against the horizon. From a distance, the bridge almost feels weightless, part engineering feat, part floating ribbon. It's not a place to linger, but it's a striking way to begin the day, reminding you that this quiet harbor town, with all its half-timbered charm, still belongs to something broader and more connected. Insider tip. For the clearest view and cleanest light, head to the roundabout just after breakfast. The morning sun sharpens the cables and silhouettes the bridge beautifully against the sky. Late morning. Visit the Naturospace. Step into the warmth of the Naturospace, Honfleur's lush tropical greenhouse tucked just behind the harbor. The moment you enter, the air thickens, humid and fragrant, as butterflies glide through filtered sunlight and exotic birds call from the canopy above. Orchids bloom in bursts of color beside banana trees and towering palms, while winding paths lead past ferns, flowering vines, and still ponds where turtles sun themselves on warm stones. This isn't a butterfly house, it's a living ecosystem. Dozens of butterfly species flutter freely through the space, often landing on shoulders or drifting just inches away. Parrots chatter from the overhead branches, and tropical plants from every corner of the world create a layered, immersive jungle you'd never expect to find in northern France. Entry costs around 12 USD per adult, and you'll want to spend about 45 minutes exploring the place at an easy pace. Insider tip. It's warm and humid inside year-round, even on cool days. Wear light layers and give your camera lens a few minutes to adjust before snapping photos. Garden of Personalities. Just steps from the greenhouse, the Garden of Personalities offers a quiet, open-air tribute to the artists, writers, and cultural figures who shaped Honfleur's legacy. This peaceful green space stretches along the edge of the Seine's estuary, where sculpted busts rise from flower beds and walking paths curve through manicured lawns. You'll come across familiar names: Eugène Boudin, Eric Satie, Charles Baudelaire, each honored with a statue, a plaque, and the surrounding calm of nature. What makes this garden unique is its setting, open to the sky, bordered by tall grasses and gentle waters, and infused with the town's creative soul. It's not just a walk, it's a conversation with the past, told through bronze faces and blooming color. The garden is free to enter and rarely crowded. Plan to spend around 30 to 45 minutes here, especially if you want to take your time reading the plaques or sitting by the estuary. Insider tip: walk to the far edge of the park where the crowds thin out. From there, you'll get an unobstructed view of the river and the best light for photos. Afternoon, lunch at Au Petit Marais. After your stroll through the Gardens of Personalities, make your way to Au Petit Marais, a charming bistro just a short walk from the waterfront, celebrated for its delicate, seafood-forward cuisine and quiet, intimate setting. The menu highlights dishes like a saffron-laced bouillabaisse filled with local catch, or a gently poached skate served with ginger and coconut for a subtle, fragrant twist. For something land-based, their free-range chicken with spiced bulgur brings warmth and depth without feeling heavy. It's a meal designed to linger over, elegant, satisfying, and true to the region. Pricing hovers around $30 to $35 per person, making it a worthwhile stop for anyone who enjoys a thoughtful plate and a slower pace. St. Leonard Church. Tucked just beyond the harbor's edge, St. Leonard's Church offers a quiet contrast to Honfleur's busier streets, a place where time slows and stone and stained glass do the talking. Originally built in the 12th century and reconstructed over centuries of war and fire, the church blends Gothic and early Renaissance styles. Its arched windows pour colored light across the flagstone floor, while the carved wooden doors creak open to a sanctuary still used by locals today. Inside, the atmosphere is calm and reverent. Look up to see delicate tracery in the ribbed ceilings, and don't miss the baptismal font or the sculpted capitals. Small details that speak to the craftsmanship of generations. Entry is free, and about 20 to 30 minutes is enough to appreciate its quiet grace. Insider tip: step outside and look up. The church's octagonal bell tower is one of the few in Normandy, and best viewed from the center of the square, where the angles align just right for a photo. Late afternoon, visit a Calvados shop. No trip to Normandy would be complete without a taste of its most iconic spirit, Calvados, the region's celebrated apple brandy. In Honfleur, make your way to La Cave Normande, a warmly lit boutique tucked just a few steps from the harbor. The moment you step inside, the scent of aged oak and orchard fruit greets you. Bottles of Calvados, Pommier, cider, and pear brandy line the shelves, many from small, family-run distilleries just inland. The staff here know their bottles well. They'll walk you through the flavor profiles, the differences between blends aged 3 years or 30, and the stories behind the labels. Tasting is a part of the experience and complimentary with purchase, making it easy to find something that suits your palate, whether you're drawn to younger, punchier spirits or mellow XO blends aged in oak for decades. Smaller bottles are available too, perfect as gifts or souvenirs. Insider tip: ask for a side-by-side tasting of Vieux and XO Calvados. The smoothness and depth of the older blend is where you'll really taste the craftsmanship. Early evening, ride the carousel of Honfleur. As golden hour settles over the harbor, make your way to the small square near the waterfront where the carousel of Honfleur comes to life. This double-decker beauty with hand-painted horses and Belle Epoque flourishes has been part of the town's charm since 1995. A nostalgic nod to a slower time set against the backdrop of sea and stone. Children laugh, cameras click, and the carousel's soft music adds a gentle soundtrack to the early evening. Whether you choose to ride or simply watch from the sidelines, it's a lovely pause before dinner. Lighthearted, beautifully lit, and steeped in old-world elegance. A ride costs about $3.50 per person and lasts just a few minutes, short, sweet, and timeless. The carousel typically runs from spring through early fall, with hours that can vary depending on weather, so if you're visiting on the off-season, check locally to avoid missing it. Insider tip: go at dusk when the lights switch on. The warm bulbs against the twilight sky make for some of the best harbor photos you'll take all trip. Evening, dinner at Restaurant L'Escale. Close out your day at Restaurant L'Escale, a relaxed harborfront brasserie where the scent of grilled fish drifts in from the open kitchen and candlelight flickers against the window panes. The menu leans into Normandy coastal roots, tender sea bass, creamy mussels, and hearty duck confit served alongside crisp white wine or local cider. You'll find generous portions and fair pricing, with most meals, drinks included, falling comfortably in the 35 to 50 USD range. We hope this guide helped you slow down and experience the quiet magic of Honfleur. From estuary views and hilltop chapels to garden strolls, Calvados tastings, and carousel rides by the harbor, it's a town that doesn't rush, and that's exactly its charm. If you found this helpful, give us a like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for more beautifully crafted itineraries from places that still move at their own rhythm. Thanks for watching, and as always, safe travels.